Wife!
Do you remember what happened last Friday and where the hell we are today?
Well, on Friday we read Ezekiel Chapter 25.
Sure as fuck did.
And in that chapter, it was all about Samuel L. Jackson.
No, it was not. Oh my God.
I mean, that was my favorite part because, I like Pulp Fiction and that was a great scene. And I was waiting for that quote the whole fucking Bible.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It was there. But essentially, though, it was God telling everybody that he's going to wreak havoc on Ammon, Moab, Edom, and Philistia.
Yeah.
So it's the same shit he's going to do to the Israelites, except for now he's doing it to them.
And no remnants for you.
I just call me shocked here, but whatever. That's God's going to kill people. Go figure.
You murdery son of a bitch.
Right. So that was Ezekiel chapter 25.
Yes.
Which means that today we're getting into
Ezekiel chapter 26.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, we are hopping into Ezekiel chapter 26.
Okay.
And before we start, just want to tell you a little bit about this chapter because we're talking about a different city than what we've normally talked about.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about Tyre or Tyre, Tyre.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
And Ezekiel starts a new prophecy in this chapter.
Okay.
That goes on through the 20th chapter.
Got it.
Wait, no, ending in the 20th verse of chapter 28.
Got it.
Okay. So it's a couple chapters here, 26, 27, 28.
Sure.
Okay. And this is going to be a declaration of the judgments of God against Tyre. I'm guessing it's Tyre, not Tyre, since it's Tyre.
See, I would have said Tyre.
I would have said Tyre, except that when we're talking about Tyre.
Right.
So, I don't know. Anyway,
God forbid we ever look up any pronunciations.
I mean, that is above my pay grade.
Right.
So, Tyre, we're going to call it Tyre.
Okay.
It's just more fun.
Sounds good.
It's a very famous Phoenician commercial city and major seaport, which was taken by Nebuchadnezzar after a very arduous siege of 13 years.
Uh-huh.
And it's located on the Mediterranean coast of Phoenicia, just north of Palestine.
Okay.
And it was a leading commercial center of the ancient world.
Got it.
Okay. And it was a city made up of two separate parts. The one part was built on the mainland coast, and the other half of the city was an island a very short distance away.
Got it. And just for the record, I did look it up real quick while you were going over that information. It is Tyre.
See, that makes sense since Tyre.
I apologize, but yeah.
That sucks. Yeah. So that city that has a dumb pronunciation is what we are going to be talking about today.
Got it.
Just kind of wanted to put it in location geographically so we kind of have an idea where we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get started. In the 11th month of the 12th year, on the first day of the month, guess what happened?
Ezekiel heard from God. He called him long distance. He said, hey, what's up?
Yeah, the word of the Lord came to me.
Okay.
So, but let's take a second. I know we just started.
Yeah.
And talk about that date.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
All right. So, in the 11th month of the 12th year, on the first day of the month, blah, blah, blah. This date corresponds to the year 586 or 585 BCE.
Okay.
And this was the year in which Jerusalem was taken, the 11th year of the captivity of Jeconiah, and the 11th of the reign of Zedekiah.
Got it.
Okay?
Okay.
So that's where we're at.
Sure.
Okay? So this is what the Lord said.
Okay, yeah.
Son of man.
You mere human.
You fucking worm. Because Tyre has said of Jerusalem, aha! The gate to the nations is broken and its doors have swung open to me. Now that she lies in ruins, I will prosper. So basically, Tyre is laughing that Jerusalem fell.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and
that's not a good thing to do because God will destroy whoever laughs at Jerusalem.
They're all going to laugh at me.
The only person allowed to destroy Jerusalem is God.
Yeah. And boy, how he does.
Right.
Yeah. And so since they are a big commercial city, they're like, sweet, more spoils for us. So they're like really excited that Jerusalem has fallen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I'm against you, Tyre, and I will bring many nations against you like the sea casting up its fucking waves.
Okay. Yeah.
They will destroy the walls of Tyre and pull down her towers. I will scrape away her rubble and make her a bare rock. Boom. How about that, bitches?
Sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, he's going to knock them the fuck down.
Okay. Yep.
Out in the sea, she will become a place to spread fish nets. For I have spoken, declares the sovereign Lord.
Got it.
And then he says some more. She will become plunder for the nations, and her settlements on the mainland will be ravaged by the sword. Then they'll know that I'm the Lord.
That's the violence, the killing. That's how we always know that God is the Lord, right?
Oh, look at all these dead people. God must have come through. You know how that God is.
Right? Yeah.
Fucking Yahweh. For this is what the sovereign Lord says.
Is it? Okay.
From the north, I'm going to bring against Tyre Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, king of kings, with horses and chariots, with horsemen and a great army. Damn, he called him king of kings.
Yeah. That doesn't seem like God would say that, right?
No, because that's how Jesus is referred to.
Right.
In the New Testament.
It seems way too he's given him too much, like
right?
he's that's too much of a namesake to give to somebody other than somebody that's in, God's corner.
You know that guy I hate? The total king of kings. Like, what? He will ravage your settlements on the mainland, this Nebuchadnezzar peach.
Yeah.
With the sword. The sword of the Lord. Yeah.
Definitely not space lasers.
No. That's more Marjorie Taylor Greene thinking. Yeah. He will set up siege works against you, build a ramp up to your walls, and raise his shields against you. He will direct the blows of his battering rams against your walls and demolish your towers with his weapons.
So I have to wonder if historically if this ever actually happened.
It actually did.
It did. Okay.
Yep.
So then the next thing that I have to wonder is, was this written before or after? And I have to believe from my own experience with the Bible thus far that it was probably written after.
The way it's described, it was like 100% after.
Right, because this sounds like a checklist of what they were fucking doing to destroy Tyre.
Yeah.
So
it's totally a checklist.
Yeah.
His horses will be so many that they will cover you with dust. Your walls will tremble at the noise of the war horses, wagons, and chariots when he enters your gates, as men enter a city whose walls have been broken through. The hooves of his horses will trample all your streets. He will kill your people with the sword, because murder is fun.
Yeah.
And your strong pillars will fall to the ground, as they do.
Sure.
All these pillars always falling everywhere.
What does it take for them to chop down a pillar with swords, I wonder? Why would they worry about that? What does that matter? Well, I guess they have the battering rams.
Yeah, I was going to say they have more than just swords.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And who fucking knows? They might even have some giants. They will plunder your wealth, and loot your merchandise.
Okay.
They will break down your walls and demolish your fine houses and throw your stones, timber, and rubble into the fucking sea. I will put an end to your noisy songs, and the music of your harps will be heard no more. Boing, boing, boing.
God is so loving and wonderful. He's such a great guy, isn't he?
Sweetie.
Like, I swear, I've just never heard a more loving piece of fucking shit.
Yeah, it's so true. I will make you a bare fucking rock, and you will become a place to spread fishnets. You will never be rebuilt, for I, the Lord, have spoken, declares the sovereign Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says to Tyre.
Tyre.
Yep. Will not the coastlands tremble at the sound of your fall when the wounded groan and the slaughter takes place in you?
I don't know, will they?
Then...
Why does he always ask questions like that? It's so weird, right?
Is the sky not blue?
I don't fucking care. I don't know. You tell us. You're God. You tell us. How about you let us know?
Does a bear not shit in the woods? Then all the princes of the coast will step down from their thrones and lay aside their robes and take off their embroidered garments. Clothed with terror, they will sit on the ground, trembling every moment, appalled at you. So this is, he's saying that all the other people around Tyre are going to hear what happened, and their princes are going to be freaked the fuck out.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it, yeah.
And so they're mourning the fall of Tyre at the same time that they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm sad for them because everybody loved Tyre.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'm also scared for me. Sad,
Right.
scared, sad, scared. Okay?
Right.
Then they will take up a lament concerning you and say to you, how you are destroyed, city of renown, peopled by men of the sea.
Okay.
Chicken of the sea?
Yeah.
You were a power on the seas, you and your citizens. You put your terror on all who lived there. Now the coastlands tremble on the day of your fall. The islands in the sea are terrified at your collapse.
Okay.
This is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Again, why does he have to keep announcing that he's saying more? Like, isn't it just like implied that if he keeps talking, that he's still talking? Because
you know why?
Why?
Because he's Foghorn Leghorn.
Oh, okay.
He's the OG of I said. When I make you a desolate city, like cities no longer inhabited, which is, what desolate means.
Right.
And when I bring the ocean depths over you and its vast waters cover you, then I will bring you down with those who go down to the pit, to the people of long ago.
Okay.
So he's talking about burying them, being like the pit is when you bury your dead.
Right.
Okay. I will make you dwell in the earth below as in ancient ruins with those who go down to the pit, and you will not return or take your place in the land of the living. So there's a little bit of extra here when he's saying,
like nobody usually returns from the land of the living.
He's referring to their quote unquote souls. He's saying you're not going to have an afterlife. You're done.
Got it.
Like you do not get to level up. Like you're not just dead. You're like super dead. You're like all dead.
Got it.
Like not just quasi dead or dead adjacent.
Yeah.
You're like totes dead.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure. You're like
right.
Sans alive even.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
so,
you have been unalived to the max.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So that's what he's talking about. You're like not going to have an afterlife.
Right.
I will bring you to a horrible end and you will be no more. You will be sought, but you will never again be found. Declares the Sovereign Lord. The end.
Okay.
I do have some notes about this chapter that I wanted to go ahead and do now because they're not Q&A worthy to wait till Saturday.
Okay.
But they are just kind of a little bit
FYIs?
Just FYIs, like interesting turns of phrase and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me go down. Okay, I got the date, blah, blah, blah. What else did I have here?
Wife is scrolling.
Well, because I take notes for my own knowledge, but then I try to put in bold and italics anything that I actually want to say.
Sure.
On the air, which is where we are.
Yeah.
Okay. So in verse 17, when it says they'll take up a lament concerning you.
Yeah.
And that was when the princes are going to hear that you have fallen, and they'll be sad and scared and sad and scared.
Right.
Okay. The word that they use is lament, but in other translations, they use a word kana or kanot, which is a Hebrew dirge, sad poem, or elegy. Okay. And I just thought that was kind of worth mentioning.
It's basically, essentially sort of the same thing, isn't it?
It's all the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I just,
I'm saying it because if you're reading a different translation,
it might have different words.
It'll have different words. And not only that, but it might be something that we come across in a different chapter. Who fucking knows? Right. So I just wanted to put it out there that, hey, this is a thing.
And there may be people out there listening that are following along with a different version of the Bible.
Exactly.
And they see different words when we're reading this. So. And
then, like, they might not know what a dirge is. Like, you didn't always know what a dirge was.
I didn't?
You didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you. I just don't remember when I didn't know that.
Because I'm the one that told you what a dirge is. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, so that's a thing. Also, then further on in verse 21, I will bring you to a horrible end and you will be no more. Mm-hmm. In other translations, it started out, I will make you a terror.
Okay.
And then that got changed to sudden death will I bring thee.
Okay.
And then I will make thee a destruction.
Oh, okay.
And then we get it real dummied down. I will bring you to a horrible end.
Got it.
And then if you wanted to put it like in Urban Dictionary, it'd be like, you fucked. You done. So
yes, definitely.
So there we go.
Okay. Is that all the notes you got for me or for us today?
That's all the notes I got for us, you, and me today.
And all of our listeners.
Yeah,
because that's important. They're the ones, helping us be who we are.
It's true.
Yeah. Even though I gotta say this real quick because it was funny. Somebody on TikTok today was like, "You are just in your basement with 3 listeners," and I'm like, "The fuck you say? Well, you just ask our listeners. There's way more than 3. There's like 5."
I mean, clearly there's more than 5 because we're top 5%.
Yes.
We're in the top 5% of all podcasts.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I just always think it's funny when somebody tries to like bully somebody and they're wrong, like to the like nth degree and wrong.
Immensely provable.
Yeah. I pointed them. I was being kind of nice. I was like, here's where you can find out where we're not that, but okay.
Right.
You do you, man.
See, I always tell you just say thank you for your engagement.
I know.
It helps.
I really should have done that and then just dropped it. But sometimes when I'm just bored, it's hard to not
argue.
Yeah.
Feed the trolls.
It's hard not to snipe back sometimes.
Don't feed the trolls.
Don't feed the trolls. That's good advice. It's really good advice. It's really hard to follow through on, but it's really good advice.
I know this, and that's why I avoid most social media.
Right.
Because I cannot.
It is a cesspool of shittiness. That is for sure.
A cesspool of shittiness. Yeah. A morass of doo-doo.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I think that's all we got today. So that was Ezekiel Chapter 26.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that we'll be back tomorrow with
Ezekiel Chapter 27.
Oh, one last thing.
Oh.
You guys might have noticed today. I don't know. Maybe you didn't notice. Maybe it didn't show up. Maybe you're on a different podcasting app that it hasn't shown up yet on. But we have a new intro. And if you haven't heard it yet, it's coming down the pike. So some podcast platforms take time to update. So you might be on one that takes time to update if you didn't hear it today.
For example, Castbox doesn't usually update immediately. Like weeks. Not always.
Well, it can sometimes. It can.
Sometimes it's hours. Sometimes it's days.
Right. It just depends how Castbox is feeling that week, And
I say that as a lover of Castbox.
Yes, wife does love Castbox. So, but if you heard it, I hope you enjoyed it. I spent some time putting that together, and we may update it from time to time, but right now, that's our new intro. So,
and I think it's great. So if you like it, definitely let husband know because he did put some time. I'm so impressed with it, honestly. Maybe the bar is low. Maybe I'm easily impressed, but I listen to a lot of podcasts and I think that is a very fucking cool intro.
I mean, wife give me the thumbs up. So I'm happy.
Yep.
All right. Thanks guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Hey wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast.
Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe, leave an Apple review, join us on Twitter, support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.